Welcome to the Billionaire Belief Show. This is your host, Dhane Diesil, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about how to read your credit report. Real quick housekeeping, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, click the link in the description so you can get instant access to the free video seminar, Rules of Wealth, 5 Personal Finance Fundamentals for Building Wealth from Scratch. If you want to learn how to manage money better and enhance, I should say, your credit score so you can improve your financial well-being and, like I said, get that ball rolling so you can start building wealth, you want to tap in. Free video seminar waiting for you right now in the description. But today, we're going to be talking about how to build, not how to build wealth, but today we're going to be talking about reading your credit, reading your credit report, understanding what it is, understanding what's on it so that you can make sure that the accurate information is on there so that B, you can go ahead and make the moves you need to make so you can make those major purchases in your life. So let's dive in. Understanding your credit report, what's on it and how to read it. So your credit report, it's kind of like your financial report card. As we've spoke about in previous videos, your credit score, it represents your credit worthiness. It represents, your ability to pay your bills back. To pay your bills back and on time. So if that's what your credit score is representing, your credit report, it's like I said, it's basically like the financial report card that actually lists out all the information in regards to, your accounts, your personal information, as well as any increase or any other public information that will be on your credit score. So here's a sample credit report. And I just want to focus on the A, B, C, D, E of this report because every credit report, it contains, these 5 major bits of information. So the first major bit of information is going to be your personal identification number. Your personal identification information. So things like your full name, your current address, as well as your social security number and your date of birth. Next, it's going to have, and within your personal identification information, it's also going to list previous addresses that you've lived at, roughly within the last 7 years. Next, it's going to have public record information. So any public record that you have on file, for example, financial public record, I should say. So, for example, like bankruptcies, liens, judgments, things like that. That's going to be within the public records information section of your credit report. Next, you're going to have collection agency account information. So if any of your current accounts have went unpaid and end up in collections, you're going to see that information on your credit report. Next, you're going to see your credit account information. So all the current accounts that you have, accounts that have that are up to date, that are being paid, as well as being paid on time, like that's going to be in your credit account information. And last but not least, you're going to have inquiries. So companies that have requested your credit, file. So let's make sense of this. For example, let's say you want to rent an apartment. So obviously the landlord or the property management company, they're gonna request a copy of your credit file. That's usually what that $25 fee is for them to run your credit. So you're gonna get that. You're gonna pay them $25. Then based upon the name and the social security number of the date of birth you give them, they're going to be able to pull your credit report. And then sometime down the line, when you then go look at your credit report in the inquiry section or companies that have requested your credit file section, you will see the date and the company that may make that request. Now, let's say that you have a Chase Visa card That's like a charge card. Let's say you have student loans. Let's say you have a car loan. So as long as all three of those things are current, they're going to show up in your credit account information, and it's going to list obviously the company name. That so if it's a car loan, it's going to list the obviously that account holder name. It's going to list obviously the amount that you've borrowed from them, as well as the balance of how much you have left to pay. And it's also going to show your payment history, and it's going to show how long that account has been open. But those are the things that, you know, certain people will look at just to see, like, okay, like they have credit history, okay, that everything's good. Now, let's say you had a medical bill that for whatever reason you forgot about, you didn't pay it. Credit hospital, you know, they called you a few times, sent you a few emails, sent you a few letters, but you never responded for whatever reason. Now that item is going to go on your. Now that item got sent to collections from your original creditor. And once it gets sent to collections, and that comes up as a derogatory mark on your credit report. You don't want to see stuff in the collection. So even if you have to make minimum payments on stuff, do that, because at the last thing you want is for your credit report to have derogatory marks like no payments, late payments. So all in all, like I said, get up on your BI. Make sure stuff don't go to collections. Because as we said before, the higher your scores, the easier it will be to make major purchases. The lower your scores, the more challenging it will be to qualify for major purchases. But going back to what's going to be on your credit report, like I said, you're going to have those 5 bits of information. Not those 5 bits, but you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have your current credit accounts information on there. You're going to have your inquiries. People who have requested copies of your credit file. You're going to have any public record information. Now, if you don't have any bankruptcies, if you don't have any judgments, etc., no liens, then you're not going to have any of that information on your report. But all in all, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what a basic credit report looks like. So you need to make sure that you understand what you're reading, so that you will be able to make good decisions moving forward in your life, especially when it comes to the financial decision that you need to make. Now, here's an important, real quick now. One important caveat about your credit report. Your credit report will not have your credit scores on it. If you want your credit scores, you're going to have to go through like a monitoring service, or I'm noticing a lot nowadays, your bank account, your Chase, your B of A, your Wells Fargo, whatever, they may have a feature within your banking account that will allow you to see your credit scores. Or if you use a service like a TurboTax or something like that, you know, you'll be able to see some of those will allow you to see some of your credit scores. Because once again, there's 3 main bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Every creditor that you have, every creditor account information is not every account that you have open isn't necessarily going to be on all 3 credit reports. So that's why another reason why, you know, you got to make sure you pull all your reports at a bare minimum annually, so you can see what's actually on it. Because if you're trying to go get a car, for example, and you see that you ask the dealership, hey, what creditor do you guys use? They say, oh, we use TransUnion. But then when you pull your reports, you see that, you know, on your Equifax, you got some derogatory marks, but the TransUnion is clean. That's still you will still be golden at the end of the day, because once again, if that dealership only is pulling your TransUnion account, they're never going to even see what's on Experian or Equifax. But that don't mean you just leave Experian and Equifax with those derogatory marks or inaccurate information. You get that stuff cleared up. But just know, you know what I'm saying, these are important questions you need to be asking people when you're trying to go out there and make major purchases. Before you go make the purchases, once you're starting to get an idea of who you're going to be doing business with, just ask them, like, who do you guys use to run your credit? Like I said, some of them are going to say we pull all 3 reports, while others are going to say, like, oh, we only pull TransUnion, oh, we only pull Equifax, oh, we only pull Experian. So find out what those based upon who you're going to be doing business with or getting loans from or getting credit from, know which ones that they pull so you can be good to go. Now, real important caveat right here. Check your credit report regularly for accuracy. Literally, go over it with a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass, because if you have a common name or a common if you have a common name like John Smith, or you have siblings who your parents gave you guys similar initials, or you guys names are pretty much the same other than your first name and your middle name, understand that if that is your situation, there's a high probability that you will be getting your brother, your sister, your mother, your fathers, your uncles, your aunts, your niece, your nephew's information on your credit report. So that's why, you have to make sure you check this report regularly for accuracy, because the last thing you want is to need to go make a major purchase. They run your credit and say like, hey, you have, all these derogatory marks. And you're like, no, I don't. They're like, yeah, you have something in collections for $300. This is NBC Business Services. Like, oh yeah, that's a collection agency for parking tickets. And a lot of times, people will just know these things. They'll be like, oh, if you're looking at credit reports all day, if that's your job, and you'll start to figure out what stuff is. But you'll be like, no, I don't even have any parking tickets. And then you'll go pull your credit report, and then you'll see like, oh, God damn it, my brother's information has been put on my credit report. So all you have to do in that case is just contact the credit bureaus and let them know, hey, you have incorrect information. I'm disputing. That's what it's called. I am disputing a piece of information on my report, and here's why. And after that 30-day process or so, up to 30 days, I should say, then you'll look back at your report if you have creditor monitoring service, and you will be able to see that they've made those updates. But you definitely want to make sure you're checking this stuff regularly, because like you said, if you're not, then God knows what's being put on that report. And then a little do you know, you go try to go make a major purchase and you can't even qualify for nothing because you got a bunch of derogatory information on your credit report that don't even belong to you. So credit report, like you said, we talking about understanding your credit report, what's on it and how to read it. Like I said, credit report is like a financial report card. This is what your creditors are using based upon what the bureaus are saying about your credit worthiness, i.e. your ability to pay your bills back. So as long as you pay your bills back and pay your bills on time, you will be able to manage good credit. So once again, pay your bills back, pay them on time, and not spend all your credit up. You will always be able to have good credit. So that's that. So like I said, and the last important caveat, your credit report will not have your credit scores on them. If you want to see your credit scores, more than likely you're going to have to go through a credit monitoring service, or if you do go have someone pull your credit, they can just tell you. But all in all, those are the basics. So if you have any questions, use the comment section below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more. Most importantly, make sure you click the link in the description so you can get access to that free video webinar. The free video webinar, or the free webinar, I should say. I'm going to change it to free webinar. But you want to get access to that free webinar we have to offer: Rules of Wealth, 5 Personal Finance Fundamentals for Building Wealth from Scratch. That's going to give you just the basics of what you need to get in place. Level 1, basically, what you need to have in place just so you can get the ball rolling. Highly encourage you to tap into that. And last but not least, like I said, make sure you get connected with us on social media, Instagram and Twitter @BBWCN, and on Facebook, you can find us facebook.com/Billionaire Belief. As always, I love doing this. It's all to help you. I want to see you break your family cycle of poverty and achieve your version of financial freedom, whatever that might be. I'm just doing my little bit to help. So get at me if you have any questions. I would love to assist you. On that note, make it a great day. Peace.